Regulators and professionals are connected through digital technology embedded in the infrastructure to collaborate, synergize, and innovate for future transformations. By humanizing physical development and technology, we aim to amplify and enhance beyond education learning experience that we aspire to share with all our students for years to come. At the heart of this transformation is our Beyond Education philosophy, which aims for holistic development from the inside out to create the impact as envisaged in our 10-year roadmap.
We will continue to focus on the development of our students, which goes beyond education, where we transform students intellectually and holistically into future-proof talent who have the capacity to adapt in a technology-led and globalized world. We hope our aspiration and efforts will lead this institution to become a respected regional hub for developing future-proof talents who are capable of leading the change in an ever-shifting world of tomorrow.
Amidst the bustling heart of Kuala Lumpur lies an academic powerhouse with more than 5 decades of education excellence, Tunku Abdul Rahman University College, TAR-UC. Being one of the oldest and prestigious institutions of higher learning in Malaysia, TAR-UC prides itself on its rich history and sterling academic excellence that has distinguished TAR-UC as the institution of choice in the country. TAR-UC's main campus in Kuala Lumpur is a full-fledged campus that is strikingly unique with its blend of historical landmarks, modern structures, and verdant greenery housed in a 171-acre land. Equipped with comprehensive facilities and amenities, the campus provides a perfect learning environment for any student. TAR-UC has also established its presence in 5 other states in Malaysia, namely Penang, Perak, Johor, Pahang, and Sabah. The origin of TAR-UC dates back to 1968, when the then Finance Minister of Malaysia and President of the Malaysian Chinese Association, MCA, the late young Ahmad Berbahagia Tun Tan Suu Sin, heeded the call to widen access to quality and affordable education for all Malaysians. Tunku Abdul Rahman College, or TAR College, was set up in 1969. where the institution was named after the first Prime Minister of Malaysia, Young Turamid Mulia Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Hajj. TAR College commenced operations on the 24th of February 1969, operating in several temporary premises in Kuala Lumpur and Petaling Jaya with a pioneer intake of 320 students. With the support from the government in providing financial assistance on a dollar-for-dollar basis for the college, MCA embarked on a fundraising campaign for the construction of a purpose-built campus for TAR College. Since the completion of its iconic main campus in Kuala Lumpur, TAR College continued to evolve and grow both in physical expansion and student population. In 2013, the institution took another huge leap forward following an upgrade to become Tunku Abdul Rahman University College. Our standing as a reputable institute of higher learning in Malaysia earned this institution many recognitions, including the Premier Digital Tech Institution and the latest star of 5-star rating. TAR UC's sterling track record is backed by the many recognitions by the industries and professional bodies, both locally and internationally over 50 years. Being professionally driven, TAR UC's programs are well developed to prepare students to attain relevant professional qualifications. All of TAR UC's programs are also carefully curated and constantly updated to be industry relevant and entrepreneurship focused. University-industry partnership is the main thrust of our R&D initiatives, where these initiatives allow us to work with the industries to spearhead technological innovation while addressing operational efficiency and improvement. TAR UC's academic strength extends beyond national borders, where our students are enriched and empowered through global experience. At the same time, student exchange programs via our international partnerships have attracted numerous students from all corners of the world. Progress and expansion has never steered TAR UC away from its true purpose, which is to provide quality and affordable education. Throughout the years, TAR UC has set up various financial aid options, giving deserving but underprivileged students the chance to attain a better quality of life. This institution is the answer to many Malaysians' desire for quality and affordable tertiary education regardless of their backgrounds. As a result, many of them have achieved their life ambitions, and are now trailblazers in their respective fields. Lifelong bond beyond graduation is what best describes the strong bond and active engagement TAR UC has established with its alumni. As a result, the institution's alumni have been active in contributing towards the development of their alma mater to ensure many more Malaysians will benefit beyond education at TAR UC. In addition, serving and contributing to the community has always been an important part of TAR UC's mission in education. In line with Beyond Education philosophy championed by TAR UC, we also strive to help build a strong sense of serving the community and our students, with the hope that they will continue to contribute to the society's well-being throughout their lives. Moving forward, TAR UC is ready to take the next step in its journey, transforming this illustrious institution to a full-fledged university. To achieve that, it will set out to implement its 10-year roadmap, a comprehensive plan guided by several long-term aspirations that will shape its vision of a university capable of transforming the future. We aim to reach the forefront of innovative solutions and transform people for the betterment of Tarsians and society. Physical development is the centerpiece in our 10-year roadmap, namely ultra-modern infrastructural development that will shape the vision of TAR UC's future. The contemporary bricks and mortar will spur human connectivity among the relevant stakeholders in the Tarshan community. The researchers, students, industry partners, alumni, entrepreneurs, regulators and professionals are connected through digital technology embedded in the infrastructure to collaborate, synergize and innovate for future transformations. By humanizing physical development and technology, we aim to amplify and enhance beyond education learning experience that we aspire to share with all our students for years to come. At the heart of this transformation is our Beyond Education philosophy, which aims for holistic development from the inside out to create the impact as envisaged in our 10-year roadmap.
We will continue to focus on the development of our students, which goes beyond education, where we transform students intellectually and holistically into future-proof talent who have the capacity to adapt in a technology-led and globalized world. We hope our aspiration and efforts to lead this institution to become a respected regional hub for developing future-proof talents who are capable of leading the change in an ever-shifting world of tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you have enjoyed the showcase of our students project in the previous event and Facebook videos. For this next event, we have another talk brought to us by our guest speaker, Dr. Chua. The title is Innovation Value Chain from Production to Knowledge-Based Engineering. Dr. Chua is a member representative of IMechE Southeast Asia. Let's welcome Dr. Chua.
All right. Okay. So I believe I will be taking over the floor. If there's okay, can you all hear me?
Yes, clearly.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So thank you to TAR UC for inviting me to come and deliver this particular talk. So allow me to introduce myself, a quick one. So my name is Chua Yao Long, and I'm currently representing the institution of IMechE Malaysia, as well as the institution in the Southeast Asia region as well. So for today, I will be talking about this particular topic called the innovation value chain from production to knowledge-based engineering. So next slide, please. So this will be my presentation outline for today. I will start to talk about what is engineering and who are the engineers, and then I will talk a little bit on creativity and what is innovation. A lot of people are having actually, what do you call that, the misconception that they are actually the same. No, they are not. Okay, and then I will touch it up with final touch up with the production to knowledge base a little bit on that, and we end the session with a Q&A. So before I move on, so if there's any questions from the floor that you want to ask, just shoot away. You don't have to wait until the Q&A sessions at the end. I'm all okay for you to ask me anytime. So next slide, please. So from the very Malaysian-wise engineering, the definition of engineering. So this is, I actually get a screenshot from the Engineering Accreditation Council manual. What is engineering? So by the definition by the Board of Engineers Malaysia, as you can see here, it is the creative application of scientific principles to design or to develop structures, machines, apparatus, or manufacturing processes, or works utilizing them either individually or as a combination of all these things, or to construct or to operate the same. Okay, I will leave this up because basically it's the creative application. The word here is creative applications. Okay, so as respects and intended function, economics of operations, or safeties to life and property. So these are some of the key words that you have to be careful here. All right. So this is the overall definitions. Everybody must actually have a, what they call that, a clear understanding. It's a creative application, not just merely application. You apply 1 + 1 is equals to 2. No, it's not that. Just like that only. It's creative. How do you apply the one and the one? All right. Okay, so next slide, please. All right. Now that I've touched on what is engineering, now let me go to who are the engineers. So engineers are the people who are actually directly involved in designing, okay, as the engineering definition tells you already, designing efficient engineering process. We don't want anything that is not efficient. That will actually take up a lot of time, a lot of money, but in the end, the output is, I want to say, cheaper, small thing only, small, that doesn't really justify the investment that you put in, okay? And in the same time, these engineers need to solve a lot of practical problems by applying the mathematics, the scientific knowledge that they have, okay? They have to design and they have to solve it, two things. Right, next. Now, for our engineers right now, I would like to classify these engineers into the past engineer or the current engineers, as well as the future engineers. So the past engineers, okay, they basically, what do? They actually resolve into finding, okay, problems, or say, solving the problems, technical issues. They come up with the solutions to this. Generally, if I want, okay, I got to call it whack-a-mole approach. That means if this problem pops up, I whack it up. Okay, I solve it. I solve this one, whack-a-mole. That problem come up, I solve it. This one come up, solve it. This one come up, solve it. So you do not have a holistic, or so they call that a whole approach. Okay, and there was a lot of major consideration towards just solving the problem. But in terms of others, like environmental, there wasn't much. Okay, honestly, there wasn't much considerations in those days. But for the future engineers, if you can, please go to the next slide. Okay, so for the future engineers, now for the students nowadays, or even for the academicians, since that we are in the TAUC environment, so we need to embrace ourselves, not just only solving technical issues using a whack-a-mole, or just like, okay, this thing pop up, problem A, I solve problem A. Problem B, I solve problem B. No, we need to really look at the problem at the very high level solutions already. We need to not just only evaluate technical, but we are looking at into non-technical considerations and solutions. And we are solving the problem for right now, and also in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to come. We are trying to solve that problem already. And this one will definitely take into the consideration of solving a lot of non-engineering factors, such as solving complex engineering complex problem. One of it, okay, I think this is very, very related to the UN SDGs, which is the sustainable development. We're talking about being environmental friendly, coming up with a product that is sustainable, all these things. In those days, engineers may not really concerned about this kind of what do you call it, the factors. Okay, right. So next. So after I've touched that, okay, so the future for engineers and engineering profession in general, these are some of the challenges that we are actually looking at. Okay, apart from solving the complex problem, actually, I think all the lecturers will agree with me. We are talking about solving complex engineering problems. We're talking about how our engineering field is going to contribute towards the 17 UN SDG goals. And now we are also talking about the ESG, environmental, social, and governance. Okay, this is in the Malaysian context. We are talking about this already. A lot of emphasis has been putting on this into this part. How are we going to contribute? This is where we try to solve future problems right now. Okay, so these are very, very challenging for all the engineers right now, as well as the future engineers. Okay, next, please. So this will be the main topic. Okay, so creativity. What is creativity? So a lot of people talk about creativity is being what do you call that? Having out of the mind, out of the box, things like that. But okay, if you look at it, there are a lot of if you look on the research or look on a lot of articles, this is one of the key articles lah, basically by this guy called Rhodes. Okay, so he actually come up with categories. He categorized or formularized the definitions for creativity into 4 domains. which is the first one called the process, the second person, the third, which is the press, and the last one is called the product. Okay, so process, okay, is basically what happens in your mind, your thinking skills, what happened, or even the processes, mechanical processes, manufacturing processes, it can be in that, okay? In the persons, we are talking about the motivations, the attitude, okay, the characteristics. Whereas in terms of the press, we are talking about impact of the environment towards the person, the creative person. So this will be something like for the musicians or for the artists. Okay, so for example, when a musician or a poet, you can be a poet. Okay, a poet. Okay, wow, looking at a certain sceneries and then come up with a nice poem, or somebody listen to the jungles, the nature's sound of nature, and then you can come up with a nice lyric, a nice song. So these are the inputs, and then they come up with a product. Okay, in this case, the product. So that is the thing. So product here, okay, the next slide, please. Okay, next one. So in engineering, we talk about a lot of things about designing the things, okay? So this is where creativity is highly related to engineering. Product, developing the product. Your product can be a tangible product, things that you can see, you can touch, okay, you can play with, or it can be something that is what you call that intangible, something that you don't see, like a process, like an SOP, okay, things like that, manufacturing processes. And this one is defined by David Cropley from Australia, and I find that this is really, really relevant to engineering. When we talk about a creative product, okay, a creative product, it must have these 4 elements. Okay, the first element that always people have the misconception is novelty. No, that is not the case. We must talk about effectiveness. How efficient is your particular product? Without that, there's no such thing called as creativity in engineering product or engineering design, things like that. The very fundamental requirement for a creative product must be effectiveness. How effective is your product or your SOP or your processes? Then only we talk about the novelty. What makes it different? What makes it special? Okay, where is the thing? Is it in terms of the design? Is it in terms of the materials? Is it in terms of the approach? Okay, so that will be the novelty there. Then the third one is elegance. Elegance means that this is a wow factor. Okay, the wow factor. Ooh, how come I never thought of this way? For the moment I see this particular product, it attracts me. That is the wow factor. Usually it is related to the physical outcome or the physical appearance of the particular product. Oh, this looks nice. This looks slim. This is very nice. Nicely is what they call that aerodynamic shapes or all these things. And the last one is very hard to achieve, which is what we call here genesis. Sorry, I don't know why the word is like that, but anyway, genesis is a different perspective. That means this product gives you a total different perspective. Okay, different, trying to solve a problem without knowing that it also give you a new, what do you call that, a new way or a new view, a new perspective where you can actually do it. So I take you one example. One example would be the iPad or the tablet that you are using. Okay, when iPad came out, they were actually something to be sort of like, what do you call that, a miniature computer, something like that. But then without realizing it, becomes something like a replacement for books. Okay, it can become a replacement for TVs where you can actually run videos, you can actually do conferencings. iPad, yes, you can store books, e-books, hundreds or thousands of e-books, and then you don't need to carry a lot of books. It solves a lot of problems. So a lot of people like the tablets, like the iPad, they can actually use it to write down a lot of lecture notes, all this. During their lectures, I see my students using the tablet. So the tablet is basically a creative product. It solves the problem. It gives you a totally new perspective of the applications. So that is a creative product. Okay, so that is the thing. So my next slide. So my next thing is I want to ask everyone who are present here today, is creative equal or similar to innovative? Okay, maybe anyone wants to answer this question. Is creative actually being carry the same meaning as innovative? Okay, I see someone say yes. Any others? Okay, someone say no. Okay, good. Conflicting. Some say yes, some say no. Any others? Okay, okay. Another one say no. Yes, good. In a way, yes. Okay. All right. Good. At least I got some conflicting answers. Okay. It can be yes, it can be no. All right. Depends on how you want to see the thing. So for me, I would say that is totally different thing. Totally different thing. The only thing that would be actually relating both these things would be the novelty. Other than that, there's nothing. Other than that, there's nothing similar. Okay, as I mentioned, creativity, being creative, that you are trying to solve the thing, or you're trying to come up with a new ideas, and what do you call that? The solution is totally different. The approach is different. Innovative is different. Innovative, okay. What is it about innovative? So next slide, please. So what is innovation? What is it? So there are a few definitions. So this one is derived from the Oslo Manual, okay, 2018. This is, I think, you're not mistaken, this is the latest. What is innovation? Innovation basically has these three criteria. They must be, of course, the thing that you see in the middle is called the novelty. So this is the linkage between creativity and innovations. So novelty must be there, first thing. Apart from being novelty there, you must have market. You must also have users. You can have a very creative product, but then that product is not uh, usable. Okay, there's no one want to use it. Nobody wants to use it. Then it beats the purpose, and then you cannot sell it. There's no market, so that is not considered as an innovation. Okay, that is not considered as an innovation. To put it simply, just like that. Okay, so this one is taken by the Oslo Manual. So if you want to know what is Oslo Manual, please do go and Google out. It's like a very, very detailed document about this stick, and it can tell you everything about innovation, the international standard for innovations. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so this innovation, okay, this is taken by another Malaysian innovator by the name of Robert Young. Okay, he's a very famous Malaysian innovator, and his definition of innovation is really very, very, very down to earth, and it's called the DUMS. So anything that is considered innovative, okay, it must have these few things. The first criteria is what we call as doable. That means this is something that is achievable, and then your product must be usable. Okay, it must be usable. It cannot be something that you design and then it's not usable. And then the M stands for marketable. You must have a market, as mentioned in my previous slide, the Oslo. It must be marketable. There must be a marketable. I mean, some people go and sell it, and then there are users. And from there, once you have the sale, it must be bankable. Bankable means that it must bring you back profits. Okay, you must have profit coming back into your sale of your product, and your product must be sustainable. Okay, and this is very, very fun. I would say that this is very, very down to earth, I would like to say. So innovation by Robert Young means DUMS, and DUMS means these 5 words: doable, usable, marketable, bankable, and sustainable. All right. Okay, next. So the main issue in Malaysians, what do you call that, the industry, is that as many of you probably see here, there was no clear distinctions about what is innovation and what is creativity. Later, I give you one of my last slides. What is innovation? What is creativity? One example. So here the problem in the Malaysian industry is that majority of our industries are low value added. Okay, and the second one, I will talk on the first two probably. The incomplete definition of innovations. A lot of people don't know what is innovation. A lot of people, honestly, what is creativity? What is innovations? And then innovation value change is not well met by the academics. especially from the universities. Okay, social science, humanities perceive this is something that is not related to them. Okay, I don't blame them. Okay, and the trust in the novel idea, especially by the industry towards the academicians, when we do a lot of research, we come up with this one, we patent this one, and then the industry doesn't buy it. Okay, there's no trust there. Okay, interface between the various stakeholders are not working. Of course, there's no industrial buy-in. Okay, so this is a situation. So what do we mean by low value added industries? A lot of our industry are just production based. Okay, the production based means that you take the blueprint from overseas. Okay, these are the companies, they design it, and then we just take it and then we produce it here. Okay, when anything happens, we consult the HQ in UK, we consult the engineers from Japan, from Korea, or from China. So that is the problem. Okay, we don't have that kind of situation, the environment here where we tell people how to solve this problem. Okay, incomplete definition of innovation. There you have it. I mentioned already, people do not differentiate what is creativity and what is innovation. And innovation value chain, what is innovation value chain? It's basically a process. Okay, so I will talk on this one. Okay, so can I go to the next slide? Okay, so this is the current situation on the left. A lot of this problem with the skills and capabilities of our, what do you call that, the low value industries, the business model, the technology that they use, and our IR 4.0 industrial revolution supposed to bring us to the one that is on the right hand side, where we talk about a lot of automations, we talk about data analysis, machine learnings, all these things. We are supposed to shift this one into this. Okay, and whether our industry are ready for this one is yet to be known in the next 2 to 3 years lah. Okay, right, majority of our industries, yes, they are rich, but they are in the low value add industries. That means they need a lot of what they call that, the so-called the foreign workers, the low pay workers, rather than having a lot of engineers to design and develop and then tell people how to solve this problem. We don't have that environment yet. Okay, next. So this is what we call the innovation value change. Okay, and this one is the one that is really, really for those our FYP students, our so-called capstones or integrated design project students. So if you look at it, the one that is in the bottom one with the 4 colors, trapezium and rectangles. So the first one is your problem identifications, your idea generations, and then your idea, what do you call that, championing or promotions, and then idea implementation. This whole thing is called the innovation value change. And the normal term that you will see in most of the things that you see, design thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking, and then now we have something called the computational thinking. Those actually lies in the first 2 stages, as I said, show in the slides, that design thinking. They are part of your innovation value change. Okay, they do not represent the whole process, but the RDCI, which represents research, development, commercial innovations, that it's actually your innovation value change. This is the whole thing, the whole thing. That's why it's called the value change. So this one is relevant to all the FYP students, because you are actually doing, you teach your student how to identify that particular problem. You tell them what is the problem statement, and then what was the objective, and then what do you call that, the scope, the limitations. That is your problem identifications. And then from your idea generations, where you come up with a various methodology, your approach, your design, okay, that is your ideas. And this is where we talk about design thinking, your creative thinking, your critical thinking, all these things comes in here. Now, then the next 2 parts is idea promotion and idea implementation. This is where the students need to go and actually, in terms of the students, we're talking about the oral presentation, going through the even in the industry, they have to go and pitch. Okay, pitch, industrial pitch for sponsors, pitch for fundings, for projects, for industry to buy in. So once they get the money, then they can actually start implementing their project. So the promotion is to get the ideas. Okay, so the whole thing is called the innovation value change. Okay, right. So how, okay, all these things helps the whole process. If you have done it correctly, you have come up with a what they call it, a product that is market driven. Okay, market driven. Okay, and how this thing will help you to know that whether your product is innovative or not. Okay, let me go to one example. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this will be probably my last slide already. So what is true innovation and what is false innovations? So this one on the left here is what we call as a combat unit. Okay, this one, I'm sure that everybody is still within this COVID-19. Okay, so when COVID-19 first hit Malaysia in 2020, early 2020, so a lot of things were actually, our medical frontliners were threatened, and then they were unable to protect themselves. And then I've seen the videos where our medical frontliners have to wear the blue color garbage bin plastics, and then they have to wear all these things to protect themselves when doing the testing, all these things. So a group of engineers as well as doctors sit down within that 2 months, a few weeks time, to come up with what we call the combat unit. My friend was involved in this one. That's why I get the permission to talk about this one. They come up with this, and they actually come up with this using a container. They design this whole thing, and this is for them to test for those big companies or big factories. The staff go in there, and then the medical doctors, the nurses, okay, the paramedics sits inside there, and then they actually use this so that they were actually protected from those patients or those suspected cases. So they don't have to wear the PPE all the time. So they were actually protected already. And this one was actually highly sought after by not just only Malaysian big companies at that time. Okay, within 2 months, they have to sell quite a number of units overseas as well. At that time, they have this problem. They quickly need to solve this problem to protect the frontliner. And this is already patented, and this has already been sold quite a number of units throughout Malaysia as well as overseas. Okay, all right, so this is, they call it the combat. So this is a true innovation. They find out what is the problem, they solve it there, and then they promote it, they get the buy-in from the industries, and they produce it and sell it locally and overseas. So the one that you see on the right, probably you will see this thing in Lazada or even Shopee. Okay, now this is something that you will be probably using in your kitchen when you do your toast bread. Okay, so this one is available, yes, but have you seen it before? This is a daily item, a self-heating butter knife. So the butter, when most of the time when we put it into the freezer and we take out, is frozen like ice cube. So this one will cut the butter and then put on it, and then it will heat up, and then your butter can spread. So if I'm not mistaken, my friend told me it's about 40 ringgit. Okay, 40 ringgit for one piece like this one. Yes, it is creative. It solves the problem. Okay, but are you going to buy it? Anyone? For 40 ringgit? Just to heat up the butter knife, just to heat up the butter that you're going to take out from the fridge. Okay, so is this an innovation? No, lazy to buy, correct. Is it? Other than that, 40 ringgit, this thing costs 40 ringgit. Anyone? Okay. Somebody said, I would rather use the toaster. Not worth it. Yes. There you have it. It's not worth it, 40 ringgit. I might as well just take out my butter, put on a hot cup of water, and just let it defrost a little bit. I can use already. So why should I spend 40 ringgit to buy this? So it boils down back to the definition of the innovation just now, the one by the Oslo manual. Yes, it's creative. It's something different from the normal, what do you call that, the normal butter spread knife that you see. Yes, it's creative. It solves the problem, but does it have any users? Is it marketable? Okay, in terms of the dumps, okay, remember just now the dumps, is it doable? Yes, you can produce it. Is it usable? Yes, you can use it. Is it marketable? Will people go and buy this one? Will people, or you produce 1,000 units, let's say 1,000 units, how many people will go and buy it? Is it going to give you, what do you call that, the market or bankable so-called profit? It may not. Nobody is going to, not worth it. Okay, it's not worth 40 ringgit to buy this. So There you have it. It doesn't fulfill the marketability. It doesn't fulfill the bankable. Sustainable, after maybe 2-3 months or 1 year, this thing can throw away already. Abyss gone case in terms of the, what you call that, the warranty period. And you spend 40 ringgit just to use it for 1 year. So that is a problem here. Okay, so I hope this simple comparison compared to the combat unit, this thing can be used again and again if there is any, okay, actually, what do you call it, emergency. Okay, especially this one can be used in the hospital and emergency, like when you have a pandemic. Okay, so that's what I want to present to you guys for today's just nice about 4 p.m. So what is true innovation that you see in the combat unit? They really solve the problem. There was a market for it at that time. They know what is needed and they solve it and sell it. What you see on the right is what we call as a, not to say not creative. It's creative, but it's not innovation. It's just creativity. It's just creative. So that what I want to share with you right now today is creativity and innovations, or creative and innovations are definitely two different aspects. They are not the same. And this is what we are trying to do. I'm trying to share with all people here today. Okay. All right. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Okay. So thank you. And if there's any question, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. All right. Okay, the question was, is scalability an important aspect of innovation? What do you mean by scalability first? Can I ask? Okay, and what do you mean by scalability? Because my definition of scalability, like a small invention that can be transformed into a large process. Yes, yes. Okay. For example, I think you want to give you an example. Okay, for a car is a very complicated product. Okay, all right. So I give you one example, which is the Proton one, or the Proton car. Car is a very complicated, big, large project. Okay, product. Okay, you might have one small part of the car, or one small, what do you call that, the process inside the design part. Okay, inside the design part, that is totally different from what they call that, the standard practice, and it actually improves the quality of that car. Yes, that is considered as an innovation. Yep. Even though the whole thing can be big, but your part here, contribution to this one, yes, the small part here, and that can be considered as an innovation. Okay. So another thing that I want to mention here is that, okay, I'm sure that everybody knows about iPhone. Okay, so when iPhone first came out, yes, that is considered as an innovation because it's a totally new things. The iPhone came out, they come out with a different operating systems, a different what do you call that, platform, different apps, all these things. Yes, that Apple iPad, the iPhone is a innovation. But iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 4, no. That is what they add on to it already. So the innovation is an iPhone, that is an innovation. But the innovation after that is not the iPhone anymore. It is what is inside there, the small components. Okay, maybe they have a different part here, the processing. Rather than using these processors, I'm now using a different processors, and it gives me a much better. So this processing will be the innovations, not the whole iPhone. So I hope that one answer your questions lah. This question of yours. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Okay. So if no questions, I leave the floor. Okay. Thank you very much. If there's anything, do feel free. So the last slide is just my particular details lah, if you can. Yeah, that's me. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate the time and efforts to invite me to come and deliver this talk. I hope that everybody learned something about it. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chua, for the interesting and inspiring presentation. Now, I would like to spend the next few minutes thanking the people who have taken their time off schedules to be with us here today, and those who have contributed so much to this event. In fact, we have prepared a small token of appreciation, and we hope that you have been enriched by the students and exhibitions just as you have enriched us. And last but not least, we would like to thank all our fellow lecturers from the Faculty of Engineering Technology who have assisted us in this event. First off, we have Dr. Ko Ying Hao, Mr. Tan Yong Lee, Mr. Pung Kan Ching, Dr. Yip Suk Yi, TS Dr. Ho Mui Yen, Dr. Teo Chio Yong, TS Dr. Hong Kai Si, TS Kwan Yi Ni, IR Yo Sing Xia, Dr. Chiang Kai Ming, Dr. Yo Kwok Shen, and Dr. Tan Xiaojian. We would like to express our gratitude to all our guests and fellow student helpers from IMEC Student Chapter and Faculty of Engineering and Technology in making this event a success, and hope that this is a wonderful and fruitful event to you. Now, is the moment that all of you have been waiting for. That is the announcement of the prize winners for ProDEx 2022. Firstly, I want to congratulate all our students for the time and effort they have put into their projects. You can pat yourself in the back for a job well done and feel proud that you have contributed into the ProDEx event that is organized online fully. Don't be discouraged if you haven't won any awards, as you have learned a lot throughout this project. And these experiences will help you in overcoming challenges that is very valuable to your future careers. Now I will start by announcing our most liked video winner, and the winner is
Hello. Do you ever wonder that you can control electrical appliances by using mobile phone and not electrical switches so that you can control them on or off without getting out? Or do you wish to have a security system that is able to protect you 24/7, 365? Or do you face the problem of not able to enter your house when you lose your key? The system proposed by us is able to solve all the problems stated. My name is Seo and I'm presenting the IoT-based smart home system. That's all from us. We hope that the system proposed by us is able to solve all your problems. Thank you.
wow, such an interesting video. And this project has successfully obtained a total likes of 205 in our FOET Facebook page. Congratulations, as they have brought home Touch and Go e-wallet vouchers worth 200 ringgit. Now, we will proceed to announce the winners for the project competition, beginning with Capstone Project and followed by FYP Project. Congratulations once again. Finally, we would like to show our appreciation to our President and FOET Dean, Professor I.R. Lee Siwei and TS Dr. Lim Li Lee, for their help in making this event a success. Thank you very much, Professor Lee, and thank you very much, Dr. Lim. With this, the closing ceremony is officially over. Thank you very much again for attending the second online ProDEx. We hope that seeing our student projects has been an inspiring experience, showing the diligence and ingenuity of our students in overcoming challenges that will serve them well in their future careers as engineers and professionals. With this, we shall close the event live stream. Even so, you can feel free to continue exploring the project demo videos posted on Facebook. Stay safe and stay tuned for any future events organized by TAIUC. Have a great day.